After weeks of relentless violence, a fragile ceasefire agreement has brought a pause to the latest conflict between Israel and Hamas. The agreement, brokered after intense negotiations involving regional and international players, came into effect on January 19, 2025. This ceasefire marks a pivotal moment, offering a glimmer of hope for a lasting peace in the region. The agreement's success hinges on the delicate balance of fulfilling commitments and addressing the root causes of the conflict. The road to this ceasefire has been fraught with numerous challenges. The recent escalation in violence has resulted in a devastating humanitarian crisis in Gaza and widespread fear and uncertainty in the region. The international community has expressed deep concern over the conflict's toll on civilians, urging both sides to prioritize de-escalation and dialogue. This ceasefire represents a critical opportunity to break the cycle of violence that has plagued the region for decades. The international community has a responsibility to seize this moment, providing unwavering support for the ceasefire's implementation and working towards a just and lasting solution for all parties involved. The path ahead will undoubtedly be complex and require unwavering commitment, but the pursuit of peace remains paramount. The final hours leading up to the ceasefire were a whirlwind of diplomatic activity. The stakes were incredibly high, and the world watched with bated breath as leaders and negotiators scrambled to find common ground. With the clock ticking, negotiators worked tirelessly to bridge divides and secure a cessation of hostilities. Every minute counted, and the pressure was palpable in every room where discussions took place. The sense of urgency was heightened by the knowledge that lives hung in the balance. The pressure was immense, as each passing hour brought further devastation and loss of life. The images from the conflict zones were harrowing, showing the true cost of the ongoing violence. Families were torn apart and communities were left in ruins. News of a potential breakthrough emerged late on January 18, 2025. The announcement brought a glimmer of hope to a world weary of conflict. Journalists and news outlets quickly picked up the story, broadcasting updates around the globe. Sources close to the negotiations indicated that a framework for a ceasefire was taking shape, raising cautious optimism among observers. The details were still being hammered out, but the progress was undeniable. The atmosphere in the negotiation rooms shifted from one of desperation to one of cautious hope. However, significant hurdles remained, including the timing of the hostage release and the scope of humanitarian aid to be allowed into Gaza. These were not minor issues, they were critical components that could make or break the ceasefire agreement. The negotiators knew that any misstep could lead to a collapse of the fragile progress they had made. As the deadline for the proposed ceasefire approached, tensions were palpable. The negotiators were acutely aware that the eyes of the world were upon them. Every decision, every word spoken carried immense weight. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation and anxiety. Reports from Gaza painted a grim picture of the situation on the ground, with residents enduring relentless airstrikes and facing dwindling supplies of food, water, and medicine. The humanitarian crisis was worsening by the hour, adding a sense of urgency to the already intense negotiations. The world watched in horror as the situation deteriorated. The humanitarian crisis was escalating by the hour, adding urgency to the negotiations. Aid organizations were on standby, ready to move in as soon as a ceasefire was declared. The plight of the civilians caught in the crossfire was a constant reminder of what was at stake. Finally, in the early hours of January 19, 2025, word came that a ceasefire agreement had been reached. The announcement was met with a mix of emotions. Relief, joy, and cautious optimism filled the air. People dared to hope that this could be the beginning of a new chapter. The announcement was met with a mix of relief and cautious optimism, with many hoping that this marked the beginning of a more peaceful chapter in the region's troubled history. The road ahead was still uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, there was a glimmer of hope. Central to the ceasefire agreement is the phased release of hostages held by Hamas. This agreement marks a significant milestone in the ongoing efforts to de-escalate the conflict and bring some semblance of normalcy back to the lives of those affected. The release process is not just a political maneuver, but a deeply humanitarian act that underscores the importance of human life and dignity. The plight of these individuals, captured during the early days of the conflict, has gripped the world's attention. Their faces and stories have been broadcast across the globe, turning them into symbols of the broader human suffering caused by the conflict. The anxiety and uncertainty faced by their families have been palpable, creating a shared sense of urgency and empathy among international communities, and added a deeply human dimension to the crisis. The emotional toll on both the hostages and their families cannot be overstated. Each day of captivity has been a day of anguish, filled with fears for their safety and hopes for their return. The images of tearful reunions and heartfelt embraces serve as poignant reminders of the personal stakes involved. Their release represents a glimmer of hope amidst the tragedy, a beacon of light in an otherwise dark and tumultuous period. It signifies not just the end of their immediate suffering, but also the potential for healing and reconciliation. The joy and relief that accompany each release are immeasurable, offering a brief respite from the overarching despair. A testament to the tireless efforts of negotiators and the enduring power of diplomacy. These behind-the-scenes heroes have worked around the clock, often under immense pressure, to broker deals and ensure the safe return of the hostages. Their dedication and perseverance highlight the critical role of diplomacy in resolving even the most intractable conflicts. Qatar has played a pivotal role in mediating the hostage release, leveraging its unique position and relationships in the region to facilitate dialogue and build trust between the parties. The nation's diplomatic acumen and strategic alliances have been crucial in navigating the complex political landscape, making it possible to achieve tangible results where others might have faltered. Their efforts, alongside those of other international actors, have been instrumental in securing the freedom of these individuals and their families. The collaborative approach involving multiple nations and organizations underscores the importance of global solidarity in addressing humanitarian crises. Each actor brings unique strengths and perspectives, contributing to a more comprehensive and effective resolution. The hostage release is scheduled to unfold in stages, a methodical approach designed to ensure the safety and well-being of all involved. This phased strategy allows for careful monitoring and adjustment, minimizing risks and addressing any unforeseen challenges that may arise. It is a delicate balance of urgency and caution, aimed at achieving the best possible outcome, with the first group expected to be reunited with their loved ones in the coming days. These initial reunions will set the tone for subsequent releases, providing a template for success and a source of inspiration for those still waiting. The anticipation and excitement are palpable as families prepare to welcome their loved ones back into their lives. The process is delicate and complex, requiring careful coordination and unwavering commitment from all involved. Every detail, from logistical arrangements to security protocols, must be meticulously planned and executed. The stakes are incredibly high, and any misstep could have serious repercussions. It is a testament to the professionalism and dedication of all parties that such a challenging task is being undertaken with precision and care. Each release will mark a moment of profound joy for the families affected, a culmination of their hopes and prayers. These moments of reunion are not just personal victories, but also collective triumphs, symbolizing the resilience and strength of the human spirit. They offer a powerful counter-narrative to the violence and despair that have dominated the headlines, a stark contrast to the grief and uncertainty that has shrouded the region in recent weeks. The emotional rollercoaster experienced by these families, from the depths of despair to the heights of joy, reflects the broader human condition in times of conflict. It is a poignant reminder of the fragility of peace and the enduring impact of war on individuals and communities. As we await the safe return of each hostage, it is essential to remember that their ordeal does not end with their release. The journey to recovery is long and fraught with challenges, requiring sustained support and understanding from society. The scars of captivity, both visible and invisible, will take time to heal, and the path to normalcy will be a gradual one. The physical and emotional scars of captivity run deep, affecting not just the hostages but also their families and communities. The trauma of their experiences will require comprehensive care, including medical treatment, psychological support, and social reintegration programs. It is a collective responsibility to ensure that they receive the help they need to rebuild their lives. And these individuals will require ongoing support and care as they rebuild their lives. The role of mental health professionals, social workers and community organizations will be crucial in this process. Their expertise and compassion will help the former hostages navigate the complexities of post-captivity life, fostering resilience and hope for the future. Their stories serve as a powerful reminder of the human cost of conflict, highlighting the urgent need for comprehensive peace-building efforts. The destruction and displacement caused by war leave lasting scars on societies, and the journey to recovery is long and arduous. It is a call to action for all stakeholders to prioritize peace and reconciliation, and the urgent need for lasting peace. The ultimate goal is to create a world where such tragedies are a thing of the past, where diplomacy and dialogue prevail over violence and conflict. The release of the hostages is a step in this direction, a testament to what can be achieved when humanity comes together in pursuit of a common good. With the ceasefire in effect, humanitarian aid is finally reaching the besieged Gaza Strip. This marks a significant moment of relief for the residents who have been caught in the crossfire for far too long. The arrival of aid trucks symbolizes hope and a chance for survival amidst the devastation. For weeks, the people of Gaza have endured unimaginable suffering, trapped in a cycle of violence with limited access to essential supplies. The constant bombardment has left many without homes, food, or medical care, creating a dire humanitarian crisis. Families have been torn apart and the infrastructure has been severely damaged, making daily life a struggle for survival. The ceasefire marks a turning point, allowing humanitarian organizations to deliver much-needed aid and begin the arduous task of rebuilding shattered lives. Aid workers are now able to enter areas that were previously inaccessible, bringing with them not just supplies, but also a sense of hope and solidarity. The rebuilding efforts will be extensive, requiring both immediate and long-term support. Trucks laden with food, water, medicine, and other essential supplies are now flowing across the border into Gaza. These supplies are critical for the survival of many who have been living without basic necessities. The distribution of these supplies is being coordinated to ensure that they reach the most vulnerable populations first. International organizations, including the United Nations and the Red Cross, are working around the clock to distribute aid to those most in need. Their efforts are crucial in providing immediate relief and in laying the groundwork for longer-term recovery. These organizations are also working to ensure that aid is distributed fairly and efficiently, reaching those who need it most. The scale of the humanitarian crisis is immense, and the needs are overwhelming. The destruction is widespread, affecting every aspect of life in Gaza. From homes and schools to hospitals and businesses, the damage is extensive. The large crowds at aid distribution points highlight the desperation and urgent need for assistance. Hospitals, overwhelmed by the influx of casualties during the conflict, are now receiving critical medical supplies and equipment. These supplies are essential for treating the injured and for providing ongoing medical care to those with chronic conditions. Makeshift medical facilities have been set up to cope with the demand, but the need for more permanent solutions is clear. Aid workers are fanning out across Gaza, assessing the damage and providing emergency shelter, food, and water to displaced families. Their work is vital in stabilizing the situation and in providing immediate relief to those who have lost everything. The establishment of emergency shelters is a critical step in ensuring that families have a safe place to stay, while longer-term housing solutions are developed. The international community has pledged millions of dollars in aid, but the road to recovery will be long and challenging. Financial aid is crucial for rebuilding infrastructure, restoring services, and supporting the economic recovery of Gaza. However, the effective use of these funds will require careful planning and coordination to ensure that they have the maximum impact. The ceasefire offers a window of opportunity to address the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza. It is a chance to provide immediate relief and to start the process of rebuilding. However, this opportunity must be seized quickly as the needs are urgent and the situation remains fragile. It is crucial that all parties to the conflict ensure unhindered access for humanitarian workers and allow aid to reach those in need. Any delays or obstructions can have severe consequences for the people of Gaza, who are in desperate need of assistance. Cooperation and coordination are essential to ensure that aid is delivered efficiently and effectively. The international community must remain engaged, providing sustained support for the people of Gaza as they begin the long process of rebuilding their lives. This support will be needed not just in the immediate aftermath of the conflict, but for years to come, as Gaza works to recover and rebuild. The commitment of the global community will be crucial in ensuring a brighter future for the people of Gaza.